So we're going to have a discussion today how you can actually build your career, specifically looking at counselling studies and health communication. I'm just going to go through my slides here, okay, and then the outline slide. So you can see here in the outline slide that this is an outline for the next hour, and we're going to keep it very tight to time, and we're going to move very quickly. So I'm going to do welcome and introductions. Then I'm going to do an overview of the Masters in Counselling Studies and Health Communication and looking at PhD opportunities. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Paula, who's going to discuss briefly some employability opportunities. And then the cream of today is not speaking to the staff, it's speaking to a current student and a recent graduate. And you actually hear from the student's point of view exactly what their experiences of the course, of the Masters and the PhD. And then I'm going to finish off with just making you aware of the COVID-19 changes. We're looking at it, and then finishing for the last 10 minutes on a Q&A, question and answer session. So Dr. Maggie Long will then lead that session. What I will say at this stage is there's a chat tool at the bottom of your screen. If you have a question as we are speaking, could you just write your question in the chat box, and Maggie is taking a note of those questions and they will be addressed in the Q&A session later. Also, if you would like to speak your question and have a discussion, then that Q&A session will be an opportunity to do that. So basically keep your questions to the end, to the Q&A session, and to write your questions in the panel as well. And then I'm going to wrap up and close at 2 o'clock. So welcome and introductions, okay? So those who are joining us today, if you look at your Zoom screen, and if you go to the window which your picture, or if you maybe have blacked it out, if you go to the top right hand corner, you'll see like wee dots. If you click on that drop down menu, you will see one of the options is raise your hands, okay? So I'm going to ask 3 questions just to see who's on the call here today, okay? So colleagues, you can help me with this one. So if you see a raise of hands, so first of all, could you just click raise hand, and then in a few seconds lower your hand, okay? Thank you, Orla, for raising your hand. Orla's gone, brilliant, fabulous. So we're going to introduce yourselves by doing a raise hand session. And Sheila's lovely seeing names that I've been communicating by email. So first of all, put the hands of those who are interested in the MSc. Brilliant, okay. You take down your hands, please. And could you raise your hand again if you're interested in a PhD? Okay, thank you. And also raise your hand if you are a counsellor. Thank you. Great, we've got a few practicing counsellors on the call. Fantastic, okay. So now we're going to introduce ourselves, okay, as staff. And within the Counselling and Health Communication team, there's 4 very experienced members of staff. We have experience in teaching, in research, and in practice. And in practice is in counselling, and psychotherapy, and mental health as well. So I'm going to hand over to my colleagues. I've asked each colleague to introduce themselves for 1 minute. So 1 minute brief introduction from each member of staff. And I'm just going to go in order. I've alphabetical order, starting with Dr. Paula Brogan, then Dr. Noreen Givney, then Dr. Maggie Long, and then myself as the course director of the Masters, Dr. Anne Moorhead. Okay, over to you, Paula.
Hello, everybody. As Anne's introduced me, I'm Paula Brogan. I'm a counsellor. I have been a counsellor since 2000. A supervisor of counsellors and healthcare practitioners who are working using their psychological skills, and I've been doing that since 2007. I am a lecturer for counselling here at Ulster University, and I have been here since 2016. My research interests are in counselling practice and supervision practice, and my PhD's in decision making in palliative care. So my background's healthcare communication and counselling. And I'm very interested in all of that. And I hope that took a minute.
Brilliant, Paula. Thank you. Noreen, over to you.
Hi, my name is Noreen Giffney. I'm a psychoanalytic psychotherapist. I'm accredited with the Northern Ireland Institute of Human Relations, the Irish Forum for Psychoanalytic Psychotherapy, the Irish Council for Psychotherapy, the United Kingdom Council for Psychotherapy, and the College for Psychoanalysis and Jungian Analysis. I'm a founding scholar of the British Psychoanalytic Council and a lecturer in counselling. My main area of expertise is in clinical practice and theories of counselling and psychotherapy. And I suppose my background in that area would be in terms of teaching. I suppose I taught before coming to Ulster University in 2017 in a variety of locations in Ireland and the UK. And also I've published 6 books in the area of critical theory, and finishing a 7th now. So I suppose my teaching would be concerned with teaching students about theories of counselling and psychotherapy, and also how to apply those theories for your practice, whether you work as a counsellor or a psychotherapist, or whether you work in a whole variety of other industries. And also, because my background was, before I trained, was in the arts and humanities, I use a lot of things like music, film, literature, and art to help you to become more aware of your capacity for self-awareness and self-reflectivity.
Thank you, Noreen. Maggie.
Hi everyone, my name is Maggie Long. I've been a lecturer in counselling at the university since 2011, so for 9.5 years. I was course director of this master's programme for 4 years, and I'm currently course director of our undergraduate programme, the BSc Communication and Counselling Studies. I'm a registered counsellor, and I carry out research in mental health broadly speaking. I've published research on self-harm, which would be my main area of research interest, and thinking about stigma and identity, and issues in and around social justice, help seeking, and gender. And I'm currently working on my first book, which I hope will be published in the next, well, I don't know when actually, but I'm hoping it will be published when it's supposed to be, or perhaps maybe a bit of an extension due to COVID. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I teach human growth and transition, which is about development across the life course and about the different transitions that we go through in life. And I teach the counselling and therapeutic framework module as well.
Thank you, Maggie. And then the last member of staff to introduce themselves again is myself. I'm Anne. I'm the course director for the Masters. I'm also a very experienced PhD supervisor. I have many PhD students completed, and I currently supervising 8. My background is in psychology, moving into the areas of mental health, public health, and in health communications. That's my background. I'm a scientist, a registered public health practitioner, a registered mental health practitioner, and I'm a senior lecturer in the area of health communication. My research interest is in communication technologies in healthcare, looking at mental health and looking at e-health seeking tools as well. And I have published extensively in the areas, and numerous research papers and book chapters, and numerous international grants as well. So I will look forward to teaching you on the course, those who have come to the Masters. I teach health communication and research methods, and I also coordinate the dissertation module as well. So that's a little bit about ourselves, very, very brief, and it's luckily only scraping the surface, and you'll get to know us a lot more and hear more about our fascinating experiences and research when you come onto the course. So now I'm just giving an overview of the Masters. This is a very brief overview, and do think about the questions and do write them in the chat tool, and then at the end, there's a Q&A session with Dr. Maggie Long, and you have the opportunity to get your questions answered then. First of all, the Masters in Counselling Studies and Health Communication. This particular Masters has got professional body recognition. It's recognition in areas of counselling and social work. It's awarded the Advanced Specialist Training status by the National Counselling Society and NCS. And also have another question for those on this webinar this afternoon. Is there any social workers here? Any social workers? No social workers. Well, every year we do get some social workers on this course, and I have received a few applications already from social workers. And this particular course is approved by the Northern Ireland Council for Social Care Council, Northern Ireland Social Care Council, who is then the awarding body for social workers. And many social workers come to this course and use it as part of their CPD. So the aim of this Masters, is provide you with an overview of an academic grounding in counselling and health communications theories, approaches and practical skills. It is a Masters, so it is comprehensive and it is rigorous, and you will get a good grounding in these areas. This particular Masters will provide you with many opportunities. You're building on from your careers, and whenever we get to know you, and also I was great to have conversations with some of you already by email and by video calls and telephone, that you're building on your careers. Maybe you're in areas of maybe teaching or mental health or nursing and psychology or youth work. You're building on what you currently have, but also you're learning the skills of counselling as well, and looking at the theories. So you're looking at the conscious and unconscious psychological and biopsychosocial factors that will actually enhance your current skills. And we look at the lifespan across from children right through to the older population. And as already been alluded, this Masters is very much underpinned by a number of research-informed approaches and pedagogy and practice, and gives you the opportunity to enhance your skills in the areas of self-awareness, self-reflection and insight. So you decide what's the best mode of study for you. This Masters is offered as full-time. It's 1 calendar year from September to September. So you'll be in taught modules from September to May. And then you have your dissertation over the summer, and there's no formal classes for that, but there is a lot of support and then with various different optional workshops, but there's no formal classes per se. Or you can choose to study this Masters part-time over 3 academic years. So the first year you will that will give you the postgrad certificate equivalent to that. The second year is postgrad diploma, and in the third year you have no taught classes per se. It's just your dissertation, and for the final year. So you can have options of full-time or part-time, and yet again we can explore those in more detail later. This next slide is give you an overview of the taught modules, and some of my colleagues have alluded to this already, the modules that they teach. So first of all, introduction to counselling, and then counselling and therapeutic framework, humanistic counselling perspectives, psychodynamic approaches, human growth and transition, integration, health communication, and research methods. So if you're full-time, you have 4 of those modules per semester, and if you're part-time, you have 2 of those modules per semester over the 2 years, and then the Masters the final year, and then plus the dissertation, either over the summer for full-time students or the third year for part-time students. So you can see the range of these modules that they will cover the range of counselling and health communication and skills and theories. Just to make you aware, this is an academic Masters, so this is not a formal counselling training, but it will give you a solid grounding in counselling or psychotherapy, which will then you may then decide that yes, counselling is for you or psychotherapy is for you, and then you go on and do the clinical training and the accreditation following graduation. Or some of you in the call today are already practicing counsellors, and therefore you're bringing that skill, and it's fantastic. In class we have a real mix of people from different backgrounds, professional backgrounds, and practicing counsellors, and those practicing counsellors, then you're able to have a formal qualification in the form of a master's, which will be useful for your career development and promotion. Application process. Many of you are aware of the prospectus on the university website. It's currently online. So you click on that link and you will have access to the information. There's 2 steps to this application process. First of all, it's online. You click on this link, and this will then give you an online application form, which is straightforward. Then those application forms will come to me as course director. I will then screen them for shortlisting. Basically, if you have a degree, which is 2 and above, you'll be shortlisted, and as a degree in any subject. If you don't have a 2 and above, or you have a third, or you have additional experience, then you can put in an APL application, and they can be considered, because I know I'm currently having conversations with some of you regarding that. And then the second stage is the interviews, and this year it's online interviews by Skype or Microsoft Teams. I will send you the link, or the Secretary School Office will send you the link for those interviews. And those interviews are scheduled for the 10th, the 11th and the 12th of August. And you'll have 2 members of staff. You have 2 members from either Maggie, Paula, Noreen or myself. So you've met already. So 2 of us will be doing those interviews in early August. Also, I'm just coming to the end of the Masters overview here. You're interested in the fees. The fees have recently just been published at Ulster, and the fees for the Masters this year, going for 2020-21, is £6,080. The diploma, that's the 8 taught modules, is just over £4,053.60. Or if you just want to access with a postgrad certificate, that's equivalent to first year full time. So first year part-time, or the first semester, and that's £2,026.80. And I know sometimes some people come on and do a module. Our modules are 15 credit module, so it's half the amount that's shown on the screen there. That's the amount on the screen for the 30 credit modules. So the Masters will give you many opportunities to enhance your career, to lead you into clinical work in psychotherapy or in counselling, or move you on to a PhD. And we're passionate about research at Ulster, and all we teach is research grounded and so evidence-based. So one of the opportunities, I know some of you have an interest in the PhD, and I'm just going to give you an overview. This slide here, you can see here by the range of staff, the 4 core members of staff, that we have a range of expertise in PhD topics. So you can see Paula does research in the areas of counselling practice and clinical supervision. Noreen is in psychoanalytics, psychotherapy, psychosocial issues and visual culture. Maggie is in the area of mental health, specifically looking at stigma, identity, gender, help seeking and social justice. And specifically, as she already mentioned earlier, she focuses on the areas of self-harm and also addiction. Myself, I look at mainly at communication technologies in healthcare, specifically in mental health. I do work in e-help seeking and psychological and well-being. So if you have an area there that really interests you, at the end of the slides, I have the email addresses. Please contact the relevant members of staff, and we're more than happy to discuss you further. But also want to draw your attention to the Doctor College, the PhD researchers. They're not called PhD students, they're called PhD researchers. They're called PhD researchers, and they are looked after very well, I have to say, and housed in the area in the doctor college. Yes, they're in the schools and in the faculties, but there's a fantastic, extremely active doctoral college at Ulster, and where all the PhD researchers are hosted, and all the information is on that website. So do go and look at that website, and you see every year about January time, they are in January time of each year, that the PhDs are titles that are funded or published. So in January of each year, do go on to the university website, go on to Doctor College. It's a link straight from the university homepage, and you will see the list of funded topics. But also, if you're interested in self-funding or you have your own funding, then come directly and approach to the members of staff. But if you're interested in any of the topics, do speak to the members of staff. Full-time is 3 years, and part-time can be up to 6 years. I have PhD students submitting from 3.5, 4 years up to 6 years. So do actually just consider what's best for you, and do come and speak to us, because all 4 of us were more than happy to speak to you. I'm going to hand you over now to my colleague, Dr. Paula Brogan, who's going to give an overview of employability opportunities for the Masters and PhD. Paula.
Thanks, Anne. In thinking about employability from the perspective of this course, Anne's previous slides alluded to the types of activities and the learning that would be involved in the Masters in Counselling and Health Communication. Specifically highlighted were things like communication skills, observation and analytical skills, understanding of conscious and unconscious psychological processes and biopsychosocial factors which underpin people's behaviours and their thinking, and also work that would enhance your sense of yourself, your own self-awareness and ability to reflect on yourself and your activities and develop insights onto your impact on others. So that learning is really very important. These skills are very transferable skills and can be applied in a number of different settings and in different roles, excuse me, and can be used to inform your career development in several ways. So one of the key ways that this course can be useful is for those people who want to enhance their understanding of other people and working with other people, and to promote their effectiveness in their own roles. So we have a number of graduates who go into roles like law, medicine, nursing, who move off into teaching, or enhance their existing skills through knowledge of these areas through knowledge of these areas in work and business and in human resources, etc. We also have people who come onto the course from those areas who want to enhance their effectiveness and maybe are hoping to go for promotion. Other people want to use those skills very specifically in their interactions with people. So these skills, particularly understanding, observation, analysing people's behaviour, can be very useful in roles like nursing, in teaching, in social work. We have folk who do these courses who want to work with young people and young adults, who go into youth work and community work. Also, we have folk who are coming from pastoral care organisations and situations, so priests and ministers, those who are working in a pastoral way with people. People who want to go into marketing, go into life coaching, etc. And those organisations cross various sectors of the voluntary, charitable and statutory services. And then you've also got folk who come in to do the course and then decide that they want to specialise in this kind of work and make their career specifically in counselling or psychotherapy, in which case they might be thinking about further training and use this course as the basis for that. So they might want to do further training in counselling itself, to do psychotherapy courses across the UK, maybe to think about looking for assistant psychologist positions so that they can work towards clinical psychology or counselling psychology, etc. So there are various ways in which this course can be useful and can underpin your further career development.
Thank you, Paula. That's great. Now we're moving on to, as I said at the very start, the part I'm looking forward to is the student panel. And I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Dr. Noreen Gibney, who is going to introduce you to a current student who's the master's students, year 3 part-time, John Birmingham, and a recent graduate last year, and also who's currently doing a PhD as well, Anna Kennedy. Thank you, Noreen.
Thanks, Anne. I suppose, as Anne said earlier, we really are thrilled to have 2 of our current students, Anna, a PhD student but a graduate of the MSc, and John, a current student of the MSc, here with us this afternoon, because there's something about hearing from us as the lecturers, but there is really something for yourselves if you're considering doing the course, hearing from people who are currently experiencing it or have experienced it. So I'm going to ask John and Anna a couple of questions, and maybe they might also provoke some of you to ask some questions as well. So if things come to your mind, it would be useful to put them in the chat box. Maggie will keep an eye on that, and we can address those later. So John, first of all, can I just ask you, could you say something to us about, why did you decide to do the MSc?
Okay, well, hello everybody. I suppose for me, the reason for why I started to do the MSc, to give you a wee bit of context, I have a background in sales. I was with the particular firm for almost 30 years. And then due to restructuring within the firm, there was a number of redundancies, and I was one of those redundancies. So I decided then after that I wanted to have a change of life, a change of focus. So I went to uni, and I was really doing an undergraduate degree through the Open University, and I completed that. And that was in social sciences. So as a natural progression, I then wanted to go on to do a master's. During the time I was doing my undergraduate, I'd been volunteering for Cruise for Bereavement, and as a result of that experience, I discovered a passion for counselling, but I realised that I hadn't much theoretical knowledge of counselling. So I suppose what the master's was giving me, one, it was giving me an opportunity to do a master's. 2, it was allowing me to learn and to learn more about counselling, develop my counselling knowledge. And 3, because I went down the part-time route, then I was then able then to split the cost of the fees over those 3 years.
Thank you, John. And I'm also aware that, as somebody who is currently working on your dissertation and you're coming to the end of the MSc, I'm just wondering if you could say something to us about how you feel the course has contributed to your career development and also to your employability. In other words, what has changed for you through doing this course?
This course has been, for me, a big experience. From the career development point of view, as a result of doing this, a master's, I've been able then to go on to apply, and I've been provisionally accepted onto a counselling training course. So that's ticked that box for me. So I can now go on and hopefully train, become a registered counsellor. From the other aspect of it, a master's is an academic qualification, but it is also a qualification in persistence and determination. To go through this whole experience, you need to be determined, you need to be persistent. And that to me is one aspect of a master's. As well as that, it gives you your ability to work on your own. You have to plan to plan out day, your time, how you're going to set time to do your work, how you're going to set time to do your studying. Then there's all the other things, there's your own personal development as well. And as an individual, I have developed ways that, you know, I'm doing this for something I would never have thought of doing 3 or 4 years ago. And I suppose, you know, there's the confidence, that personal growth that you get only from doing something like this. So I would really encourage you all, go for it. There's something to do. And I also want to say something else. I mean, we, as a student, I mean, we've heard today all the panel have said about all their different backgrounds, the course, and what the course can do. But I also want to say, as a student, I have been very much supported by the university and by the course team during this whole 3 years. And I think that's something that, you know, doesn't often get said, but without them, I couldn't be in the position that I'm in now. So that's just something for you all to bear in mind. They, you know, they suggest how good the course is, but the support is also there.
Thank you, John. And I think what you've raised there is the importance of the fact that, you know, there's an intellectual engagement with this course, but it's also very much experiential. And as a course team, we recognize that. So we recognize the fact that that care that you referred to is very important, that we do engage very much with students as people, and we keep that very much at the forefront of our minds when you are working through the course yourselves and the intellectual and experiential engagements. Anna, could you say something as a graduate and as somebody now who's gone on to do a PhD, could you say something to us about what aspects of the MSc did you enjoy and find most useful?
Well, hi everyone. To start, the thing that I found really enjoyable was just learning about all the different theories from different perspectives on sort of human development and personality development. All the different course team have different sort of specialities, and they all make it clear that you don't have to fully believe in exactly what they believe, but use your own knowledge and your own perspective as to which approach you think best fits for you as a practitioner or just in life in general. So I actually also found that the thing I really found useful and really enjoyed was how the theories that you learn, there's always an aspect of applied knowledge, like Noreen, especially your classes, there's always an applied aspect, if you say through visual art or through film. And the team also, the assignments were assignments that you reflected on yourself. You used characters in film as if they were a counsellor, sort of patient coming in, or and how you would use the theory to help them, or there was case studies. So when you actually apply the knowledge, you understand it more. And also a massive thing I think for a lot of people in the course was that I learned a lot about why I am the way I am. To become a counsellor, and even just to deal with other people and for communication, you need to be aware of why you think the way you do, why other people maybe think or behave the way they do. So it's actually really useful for both personal and professional life, and it makes you a better communicator and makes you more understanding. And the flexibility of the course I found really good as well. John and I started at the same time, and he has done it part-time over 3 years, but I decided to make mine over 2 years. So I did all the modules over 2 years up until June, and then I decided to condense my dissertation into the summer semester. So there's that aspect of flexibility, which again works depending on your life circumstances. So it's just really useful because now I'm doing a PhD, which I would never have thought of before.
Yeah, and just in relation to you doing the PhD now, I'm just wondering, how has the MSc helped to prepare you for doing the PhD? And you might say something to us just about how you're finding it and if you're enjoying it. Hopefully you are.
Oh yeah, oh yes. Well, the PhD, before the Masters, the PhD was not on my radar. I had not thought about it at all. Doing the Masters gave me the confidence to realise that I could do it. And it also made me realise how much I really loved research, and all the actual different approaches that we studied. I enjoyed them all, and they're all very different. And then it actually gave me a really good base then to start my research, my PhD. The idea for my project was sparked through one of my assignments, one of Noreen's classes. And And the idea has evolved since then, but it all started with the content in the module and the content of the other modules making me think about my PhD project is on aspects of motherhood, and I'm a mother of 4 children. So you learn so much about yourself that you realize what you're really interested in and what you want to do going forward. So I feel like the MSc gave me the theories to like underpin and give me a good base and foundation to actually move forward. Like I found from doing my PhD research that I started with quite a lot of the theories that I've been taught in my master's, because that was familiar and it's what I knew. And from that, I've been able to build on that and go in different directions. So the actual different perspectives and approaches that are taught give you a good way of viewing what you're interested in from different angles. So it enhances your understanding, but it also gives you the capacity to kind of look a bit wider and push yourself. So also the dissertation in the master's I found really interesting, because I would advise anyone doing it to pick a topic and a project you actually really are interested in, because then you don't mind studying it. It's really, really good. So the research skills and research methods taught in one of the modules was the first time I'd been taught those type of skills. So it gave me more knowledge in how to move forward in the dissertation and in the PhD. So I love doing my PhD, and without the master's, I 100% would not have even considered a PhD. So the master's did lead me to where I am. And I absolutely love it, because I'm doing a job I love for 3 years and hopefully for longer. So can't really beat that, you know.
Thank you, Anna. And I think you've drawn our attention to, I suppose, the space that's provided within this course for thinking and also experiencing. There's a kind of there is a space allowed in, I suppose, in the world that we live in today. Often everything is at a very, very fast pace. So in some ways, although you learn a lot of stuff, we still are very cognizant of the fact that you also need to be able to think. And in order to think, you need space to think. And also, as you said, that an idea came to you in a module, that idea germinated, and it's led into something which is now, you know, a major research project, which will become a PhD. And then, you know, as you say, I suppose you're open to the fact that you can be surprised. You don't know where it's going to lead. And I suppose that's also part of doing an MSc as well. Final question, I suppose, that I have to ask for you both at this stage is, my sense from talking to you is that you have enjoyed and found the MSc beneficial for you both personally and professionally. But if you were to recommend the course, because we have people are attending today, if you were to recommend the course to somebody who's here today, or indeed to a friend or colleague, what 2 words would you use just off the top of your head?
You go first.
I would say thought-provoking and beneficial.
Thank you, Anna. John?
I would probably say life-changing, in the sense that your MSc has changed my life, has changed Anna's life, you know, which none of us ever expected it to do. So,
thank you, John. Anne, I'll hand back over to you.
Thank you, Noreen. Thank you so much, Anna and John. That was great. Thank you. Okay, we're doing great for time here. We're on schedule. Moving to our next section. Okay, I'm just going to have a couple of minutes just to reassure you regarding the COVID-19 adaptations regarding the university, because I have been and currently dealing with a lot of queries regarding the situation regarding teaching. As you're aware for the media, or you will be aware for the media, that Ulster University's approach in the next academic year, 2021, it's going to be blended learning. And blended learning is a mix of online and in-person face-to-face teaching. But just to let you know, semester 1 will be online. But I want to reassure you that, and back to the point I made at the very start, that regarding this is the year of opportunities. This is a year of opportunities. Although, yes, you may think teaching online, you may not see us, but you can see us today. And I just want to reassure you, although semester 1, the modules will be online, you will see us on the video screen. And you will see your peers, will come to that in the moment. So just to clarify that, semester 2, hopefully the university is aiming towards some face-to-face in-person teaching, but that's yet to be confirmed as per the government's guidelines regarding the situation with COVID-19. So semester 1's online teaching is going to be recorded lectures and also teaching like we are now in real time, that you're able to discuss and ask questions to the lectures and the peers as well. But yet again, it does vary from module to module. But I want to reassure you that you will have contact with staff. You will be having video calls, because as I'm the course director at the moment in time, and any students is looking to speak to me, I'm more than happy, and I have been doing over the last few months video calls as required. But also you have contact with your peers, because you'll see people online and you will be communicating with people online, so you won't be on your own. You will have that community, and then hopefully with time that you're able to meet ourselves in person, and also your peers, your colleagues in class in person as well. So I just want to reassure you regarding that. Also, I want to highlight that you'll be getting a lot of resources. One good thing coming out of the COVID-19, and there's many silver linings, is that the university is providing extensive and comprehensive online resources. The library staff are amazing. At the moment in time, they're spending the summer creating a range of ebooks, electronic resources, and everything you need for your course will be available to you at your fingertips. And that's actually more so than actually has been before. So I just want to reassure you that there's a comprehensive range of resources. And actually it's going to be actually more convenient for you, because everything will be available on the Blackboard area. It's a platform that the university uses that hosts our modules. So everything you need will be there. And I just want to reassure you that although we're starting off online, you will have access video calls, emails, regular communication with the team. Also, through the modules and through other additional activities as well, you have communication and connection with your peers as well. So just wanted to reassure that, because I'm getting a lot of questions regarding that at the moment. Oh, there's my slide, which I've talked about all of that. Okay. And then now I'm going to hand to my colleague, Dr. Maggie Long, who's then going to do a Q&A session. So, thank you.
Hi again, everyone. So I see I have 2 questions in the chat bar here, so I'll just talk to those, I think, first of all. The first one is from Fabriani, saying there's several types of courses. I am a theology scholar. What kind of course can I take? So there are several types of courses: master's, diploma, and certificate. What kind of course can I take? So thank you for that question. I suppose an answer to that, it would be that the master's degree is 180 credit points. The postgraduate diploma is 2/3 of your master's degree. So depending on whether you wanted to study full-time or part-time, if you were studying full-time, then in your first semester between September and December, you would take the 4 modules that would give you a postgraduate certificate. When you progress then into semester 2 to study from January to May, you would be then completing 8 modules, which gives you your postgraduate diploma. And then the dissertation on a full-time basis takes place over the 3rd semester, which is from June to September, and that gives the master's. So you would be eligible to apply to the master's and could work towards the master's and graduate with the master's, or we have students who exit with a postgraduate diploma. Less commonly, students will exit with a postgraduate certificate, which is the 60 credit points. but it is possible to do that. So I suppose just to clarify that the certificate is 60 credit points, which is 4 modules. The diploma is 120 credit points, which is 8 modules, and the master's is 180 credit points, which is the equivalent of 12 modules, but it's 8 taught modules plus a dissertation to make it to master's levels. And all of those courses are at level 7. So if you're a theology scholar if you have a BSc or a bachelor's degree, then you would be eligible to apply for the master's or the PG Dip or the PG Cert. Is there anything further that you want clarified on that particular point? To Fabriani, who asked that question. Are the applicants able to speak at the current point, or okay, you have enough, okay. So the next question then is from Sheila. Thank you, John and Anna, and all the best to you both. I love that life-changing word, John. I'm really interested in what Anna said about the flexibility of fitting modules into suit and knowing a little bit more about that. Is it possible to do the MSc full-time whilst in a full-time job and working in placement towards accreditation? So that's a good question, Sheila. And really it's going to depend on your own life experiences, I suppose I would say. To clarify, Anna had studied part-time, so she studied for her postgraduate diploma on a part-time basis over 2 years. So she did 4 modules in 1 year and 4 modules in the second year, and then she switched to full-time to do her master's over the summer. So she studied then for 2 full calendar years on her master's. So it would be, we have had students in the past who have worked full-time and who have studied for the master's full-time, because class attendance would be around, let me see, so it's 4 modules per semester. You would be in university for two half days a week, or attending class for 2 half days a week. But at master's level or postgraduate level, the independent learning is really critical. So the time that you spend in the classroom, you'll spend a significant more amount of time on your independent reading and assessment and so on. So it would be pretty intense to be studying full-time while working full-time, as well as working on placement as well. But it's been done. Or the other options then are to do the sort of what Anna did, which is the part-time postgraduate diploma across 2 years and switch to the master's full-time, so that the master's is completed within 2 years, or you can complete the master's within 3 years. So they're kind of the options really, that you would have the master's in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. And it really depends on what else you have going on in your life. And I suppose the point that Anna's been making, I mean, to me, I see a lot of opportunity in terms, depending on what people have going on in their own lives, but for studying at the moment, because for semester 1 at least anyway, there will be no sitting in traffic to get out to Jordanstown. You know, you will be studying online from the comfort of your own home. And so, you know, everything will be made available to you via the library, and there's increased access to so many more textbooks and research articles. So much more is being done for students than would ordinarily be done, I suppose. And there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of kind of time saving happening in terms of the way that the course will be delivered at the moment. So I would say in season kind of opportunities, now would be a good time. If you were thinking of doing it full time, to have a go with that, because if that fits in with your own life space and what you have going on in your life, that could work really well. Is there anything, have you any sort of further comments on that, Sheila? I don't think there's any more questions, nothing coming in. Does that help you, Sheila, or would you like to ask any more about that? Can't hear you, Sheila. No, no. Is your microphone muted? Check your microphone.
Maggie, there's also a number of questions in the Q&A box. I don't know if you've seen them. There's 2 boxes operating at the moment.
There are 2 boxes. No, I haven't. I'm just, I can't hear Sheila. I think she's maybe trying to ask something. No, where's the Q&A box now?
I'll read the question out for you, Maggie, okay?
Okay.
This from Shiggles. I'm a human resource HR professional, desire to become an HR counsellor or counsellor at the workplace, but I do not have a degree in psychology or social worker. How are my chances of getting admission?
Oh yes, I can see these now. Okay, yes, thank you for that question. So yes, your admissions into the course, you can have a degree in any subject area. So what if your degree is well, I don't know what you're doing. If you have a bachelor's degree of 2.2 or above, you would be eligible for to be called. You would be eligible to apply to the course, and you would be called for interview. And then at interview, we would be determining your suitability for the course. But you don't need, do not need a degree in psychology or social work to get into the course. Many of our students come from a range of backgrounds. We have had students and graduates in the past who come from a human resource background, who come into the course for various different reasons. And people come in as well with a whole range of different degrees in arts and humanities and social science and management. So we get a broad spectrum of applications. Okay, so Sheila has a question, but we can't get her. Oh, Noreen, sorry. Okay, that's fine. And there was a follow-up question too. Is there a test to take the course and what degree? Okay, so there's no test, there's an interview for the course. And the interview will be by 2 panel members, so 2 members of the course team, which would be myself, Anne, Noreen, or Paula, who you've met all today. But there is no test. And the degree that you get is a master's degree or a postgraduate diploma or a postgraduate certificate, dependent on which you leave with. So okay, so Shekels, in terms of your question about human resources, does that answer your question okay? Is there anything else you'd like to follow up? I will move on while I wait to hear. Eakers, does this course help in becoming an accredited counsellor? What would be a good way of moving forward after the MSc? So for that question, I would pass that on to my colleague Paula. I think Paula would be a good person to answer that question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see that question? Okay.
Yeah, I can. Thanks, Maggie.
Okay.
The master's course is an academic course, so it's not a training for clinical practice, but it does give, as Anne said, a very sound basis upon which to move forward if you want to do this master's. So you have a grounding in theory and in psychological approaches, which can be used as the basis then once you graduate of an application for clinical training, if that's where you want to go. And there are various options that you can think about here in Northern Ireland and elsewhere in the UK and in the south of Ireland. So you might want, if you graduate from the postgraduate or master's with a postgraduate diploma or a master's, to apply for a clinical training such as the foundation degree in integrative counselling practice, which is validated by Ulster University and is delivered through a collaboration of further education colleges with Ulster across the whole of Northern Ireland. So that might be an option that you would want to pursue. And in that instance, you would apply to the local further education college of your choice, who will be delivering the programme, and take that application forward with them. I'm sorry, I'm very hoarse today. You may also want to apply for clinical trainings elsewhere, so you can look to other universities across UK and ERA to think about counselling courses, psychotherapy courses, counselling psychology trainings, etc. So you will emerge with a very robust and significant qualification that you can use in applications elsewhere. I hope that answers the question.
And the other thank you, Paula, that was very helpful. The other question that Em had asked is what facilities would be open, if any, at Jordanstown. So at the moment in semester one, there, well, Anne, maybe you want to take this, because I think library will be open, but only for limited facilities. But semester one is basically off campus. We know that much. Anne, would you like to comment maybe about the facilities?
Okay, and thank you, Maggie. There's been there's a lot of groups meeting at the moment in time to discuss all of this, and this is really depending on the current guidelines coming from the government. So it is fluid. This is currently under review. The universities currently have published a phrase "return back to campus." So from the summer onwards, their staff and facilities starting to open, but yet again, it all depends on the current restrictions. There is a possibility, and we're working towards, is the library being open, that you can go to the library and collect a book and leave, not maybe to walk around, but you can collect books. But that's one of the possibilities on the table at the moment, and hopefully that will be the case, which is currently being discussed. But the library staff are currently amazing. They're putting everything online. But just to make you aware, if you'd like to access the books, you can go to Jordanstown to the library and collect the books. They're currently looking at that. And yet again, facilities hopefully will be open in due course. But yet again, it's very fluent and depends on the government restrictions.
Thank you, Anne. So I don't see any more questions now in the Q&A. Oh, thanks, Anne. That's great. That's answered your questions.
Maggie, if I might just finish.
Yes, please, Paula. Yep.
I think I probably wanted to say, if folk want to speak to us to discuss their options and talk that through, then be very happy to do that in terms of moving forward beyond the Masters.
Oh yes, yes. And I mean, we have our contact details are all on this PowerPoint, which I'm assuming will be made available to all the attendees as well, so they can make contact with us directly, with any one of us in terms of the questions that you want answered.
Okay, thank you, Maggie. It is 2 o'clock, so we're going to finish in time. I'm just going to wrap up here. First of all, I'm just going to conclude by basically.
Oh, sorry, Anne, there's one last question in. Would we be able to fit it in, perhaps?
Yes,
I think it's too much. From Kelly. So I have completed the foundation degree in counselling and a level 5 certificate in counselling children and young people. Can I apply? So Kelly, you don't have, if I'm right in what you're saying here, you don't have a bachelor's degree up to level 6, but you have, I'm assuming, counselling experience as well as those particular programs. So maybe Anne, if you could say very briefly about APEL applications.
And also the top up as well, Maggie.
And the top up degree, yeah. So we do, Kelly, we have a BSc Professional Development and Counselling, which is the top up program for students who are graduates of the foundation degree. And that allows you to top up your foundation degree to level 6, so that you would have a bachelor's degree, which would be an option for you. So that might be something that if you wanted to contact me, I'm the course director for that program. So if you wanted to contact me to talk about that, then if you just email me and we can have a chat about it. There is an APEL process, accreditation for prior learning. If you have a range of different qualifications and experience, that you might be able to apply to the Masters for, but ordinarily people who are graduates of the foundation degree will do the BSc Professional Development and Counselling before they would progress on to Master's study. So if you contact me or Anne.
And also there's a possibility of going APEL depending on what experience you have and what background you have. You have numerous years of professional experience. that could be suffice. But
Yeah.
again, it's a case by case basis. Please contact me directly, and I'm more than happy to talk you through the process. So that's another option.
If you contact each of us about that, then we can advise you sort of on an individual basis, depending on your experience. Okay, sorry, Anne. So I think that's all the questions now.
It's fantastic to get so many questions, and I love your enthusiasm and all those questions. That's much appreciated. That's fantastic. I'm delighted that there has actually a number of questions has arisen. So thank you, Maggie, for leading that Q&A. I'm just going to finish in 30 seconds. Basically, I want to challenge each of you to seize the opportunity and do consider the Masters in Counselling Studies and Health Communication. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact myself as course director or any of the counselling team. The next slide then will give us each of our email contacts. Also, if you're interested in the PhD, yet again, when the slide I showed regarding the areas of expertise, research expertise and interests, if any of the member staff then do contact us, one or two of us, no problem. At Ulster, we supervise in teams, so each PhD researcher will have at least 2 members of staff. So you contact one person who may have your interest, then your key interests, then they will be contacting another member of staff as well. But each PhD researcher is supervised by at least 2 members of staff. So do contact us. We want to hear from you. So please do contact us, and we're more than happy to discuss further. Also as well, I want to say, do contact us. This is the slide here with our email addresses of Paula, Noreen, Maggie, and myself. And also as well, these PowerPoint slides will be emailed to you this afternoon, so you will have the contact details. And then finally, I'm going to finish off. Thank you. Thank you to you, the attendees, for giving up your time, maybe during a lunch break at home, or trying to do some looking after the kids or do some care responsibilities. Thank you. And I am delighted that you're engaged with us this afternoon, and I'm hoping this will be part of your journey with us. That, as John has said, and I love one of his keywords is life-changing. And I hope that the Masters or PhD at Ulster with Counselling Studies and Health Communication will be life-changing for you.